Elizabethton has never made it to the state championship game, so just a few tidbits of what we think may happen. Chris, what do you think the score? Maryville DB.
You know my blood runs maroon, but I'm thinking Maryville by 3 touchdowns. I really don't think – I think Maryville's got too many guns.
Elizabeth and Greenville score?
I'm calling that a push. I'm not going to make a prediction on that one. That could go either way.
All right, so Dobbins-Bennett, 29, Maryville, 27, and Greenville exacts revenge. They take out the Cyclones. I've got them winning 30-24.
I hope you're right on both games.
So,
I don't see it, but I hope you're right.
Really quick, we'll jump into Southwest Virginia again. Talking about this upcoming week, George Wythe is at Narrows. Of course, we saw George Wythe. George Wythe has 1,000-yard rusher Ravon Wells, 1,000-yard receiver Braden Thompson, and 2,000-yard passer Cole Simmons. In Region 1D, in these games are rematches from the regular season. Holston is at your Patrick Henry Rebels. Again, Patrick Henry quarterback Dakota Rector threw 3 touchdowns, and they rolled over Holston back on October the 11th, 42-13. Chilhowie is at J.I. Burton. Burton was able to outpoint them and get the home game. Logan Adams threw 2 touchdown passes and rushed for 2 scores, and Chilhowie knocked off, again, J.I. Burton, but that was back on September the 6th. Down in Region 2D, Graham takes on Union. Of course, that's a rematch from earlier in the season, a 1-point victory by Union. The G-Men and the Bears, they've clashed in the playoffs. This is the 4th time in the last 5 years. In Wise County Central, they go to Ridgeview. The winner of this game will advance to the first regional championship game ever in that program's history. So that is Southwest Virginia football. That's all that's left. Again, good thing is at least the Mountain 7 will be represented win, lose, or draw because, of course, the Ridgeview and the Wise Central, the winner of that game, will be in the regional championship game.
All right. I'm going to take Patrick Henry. I'm going to take Chilhowie. I'm going to take Graham and Ridgeview.
I'm going to go with Patrick Henry, J.I. Burton. I'm going to go with, Graham. And I'm going to go with Wise County Central. Upset.
Going to shut down Ridgeview's big running back there,
Mr. Adkins.
Okay.
All right. A few other things from around Gate City. Of course, academic team last night, great matchup with Abington and Union. Again, Abington and Gate City came in undefeated. Gate City pushed them all the way to the end. Abington did eventually win, but they rebounded in a big way. They crushed Union. That was the academic team last night. Volleyball, of course, they finished their season on Saturday. They lost to Radford in the VHSL State Elite 8. That matchup was at Radford. Again, a great season by the ladies. And, of course, the Blue Devil Drama team traveled to Wise Central on Saturday as well. They came in second overall in the region. Again, that was in the theater competition for Region 2D. And, again, after earning a Mountain 7 district and all Region D 2D honors, Julia Baconera finished up as in the top 50 of the state VHSL State Championship cross-country meet. That was a busy Saturday. Again, most everything taking place, but again, congratulations to all of them. Great Gate City student athletes. So, all right, now let's go ahead and we'll jump into Tweet It or Delete It. Again, folks, that's the way we wrap up the show each week. Again, we always tackle different sports topics, put them to Chris, tell us if he would tweet them out as a social media fact or that if after typing it, he would think better of it and delete it. So, here we go. 5 topics. Tweet or delete it. First one is high schools should allow advertising on uniforms just as we see in professional sports like the WNBA to generate additional revenue. Would you tweet that as fact or would you delete that?
Delete it.
Delete it.
High school athletics, they're an amateur sport. Less than 1% make it to the pros. If sponsorship like this comes into play, you know you're going to wind up with the big programs getting even more money. And that gap between the haves and the have-nots is just going to widen.
So even though the advertising, let's say that Gate City Sports Radio sponsors or would put our advertising on on uniforms.
First of all, you're living in a fantasy world.
Very true, very true, very true.
No, I mean, I think that then the smaller schools would not pick up the advertisement simply because it wouldn't be cost effective for advertisers to sponsor a smaller team, and therefore the big teams, which already technically, in theory, have more resources, are going to be able to get even more resources, and that gap's just going to widen.
All right, so Chris says delete that one. All right, second thing. With the tradition of major college and professional championship teams getting the opportunity to go to the White House, now seen as either an endorsement or an opportunity to oppose the politics of the current sitting president at that time, it is now time to end it altogether. Would you tweet that, Mr. Carr, or would you delete that?
Don't even get me started. Delete it.
Delete it. How?
Going to the White House is an honor, regardless of what political party is in office. Going there is a celebration of a major accomplishment. It's the fault of the attendees when it becomes a political statement. The president invites champions there regardless of how they voted. The invitation to come to the White House has nothing to do with politics per se until the athletes make it that way, and they just need to get over themselves.
Wow. Very strong, very good. That's almost like your stance that female athletes can never compete with male athletes that you said earlier. Anyway, so no. Third topic, again, tweet it or delete it, is high school curriculum should expand to include instructional time or designated class periods each day for individual sports classes. Would you tweet that or would you delete that?
I went back and forth on this one, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I had a thought, then I changed my mind, then I went back with my original thought. So, tweet it. If a school has the ability to offer, for instance, football as an elective or as a gym class, why not do it? And my daughter has after-school workouts like 3 days a week for softball in the weight room. If she were to have a free period or a chance to pick up an elective, I see nothing wrong with having that during the day. I do think, however, it should be limited to the semester of the sport, so it doesn't become a year-round thing. So you take the football class; it's only during football season.
So fall sport.
Fall semester.
I think, of course, you'd run into winter because basketball right now. Let's say if they were started, but yeah, I mean that's. And there are some school systems in researching this that are doing that out west.
Something else I didn't even think about, that could eliminate after-school practice time, which would benefit students academically. So, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I am in favor of it.
And that's because they interviewed a few students, and they said, well, they were able to, instead of having 2-hour practice after school, they were able to practice, basically, and then do a walkthrough, and then a lot of them had jobs.
Yeah.
So,
or I could see even saying in your class, here's what we're going to do at practice today, and then you implement it, and you don't lose that practice time going over what you're going to be doing. So, yeah, I think it'd be a good thing.
We should have asked Coach Housewright and Coach Remy in this one. The fourth thing for tweet it or delete it, basketball needs to add an additional scoring metric of a 4-point shot for longer distances. Chris, do you believe that is truth and tweet it, or do you delete that?
I say make it 5 points.
5 points.
I know purists don't like it, but, yeah, tweet it out. I think it'd add another element to the game. Purists didn't want the three-point line put in, and it completely changed and re-energized the game. If a player has the ability to hit a shot from further out than normal three-point range, give it to them.
There was some thoughts of actually the points in the paint, taking them down to 1 point. Points outside
the paint, 2 points.
And then the 3-point.
Yeah. Why not?
Because, you get into some of these teams that just bulldog and get in there. But anyway.
Try it in a benefit game. See what happens.
Never know.
Give it a whirl. I'm not saying I'd be in favor of it until I see it in action, but, yeah, try it.
Of course, it'd be hard on the fly for an official to make a call about a 1 point.
True.
So if he's 1 foot, he or she is 1 foot in the paint, 1 foot out, you're making that judgment
Well,
call.
Yeah, it would be easier, though, just to add another line, but like maybe 10 feet behind the three-point line.
Right.
Just create another arc.
Yep. All right, the fifth and final thing for tweet it or delete it, revenue generated by professional sports associations and leagues and not the gender of the participants should be the deciding factor in how the athletes of the sports are compensated. Chris, do you tweet this as a fact? Or do you delete
This is another one you're trying to paint me in a corner, aren't you? I would tweet it.
Oh,
I think
my phone is about to blow up.
This
Here we
is,
go.
Well, let me explain.
Okay.
I think this is basically what happens already.
Why is Chris doing what? Oh, so I'm sorry.
The problem is most people prefer to watch male sports, which results in the male sports bringing in more revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Monica Abbott, arguably the greatest softball player to ever play the game. She plays professionally for the Houston-based Junkyard Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know if you knew that.
Nope.
But she also, though, in the off-season has to play in Japan professionally just to be able to have her career and do that. Of course, now she's taken off one of her seasons to train for the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is they don't bring in the ticket revenue that baseball does. You know, when Pat Summitt, there for a couple of years, she was the highest paid of the basketball coaches at UT. She was paid more than the men's coach because the women were drawing more. They were selling out Thompson Bowling Arena. So, you know, I think it should be based off, in some aspects, based off the revenue. But in a lot of ways, I think that's already what's happening.
Because, you know, of course, a lot of media coverage about the U.S. national teams, the men are not drawing very much, but yet they're still being outpaid. They're outpaid. They're earning more than the ladies. The ladies are the ones that are winning the titles,
Right.
But so it's
Particularly like in soccer.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So there's discrepancies all over. So
Right.
anyway, all righty. Well, like I said, that will wrap us up here. Again, it's been a great night, and I apologize again. We took a little bit of time, but the fact of the matter is, you know, we always like to talk to our coaches, let you know a little bit about them, and it's a lot of fun for them, I think, and opportunity to
I'm
talk.
not sure Sam Gerald thinks
No,
that.
Sam, and I apologize to you, sweetie. I know that you're probably like, I hate those guys. we probably are losing a Spreaker listener as we speak, but no, but we value these kids, and again, the reason for all this Gate City Sports Radio is to celebrate these kids, these teams, to highlight them, and again, it's a great community, and it's been a great night.
There's a lot of excitement around Gate City basketball. I've been asked, I don't know how many times at work, how they're going to look this year, both teams. So there's a lot of interest right now.
And I think something that Coach Jeremy Elsright talked about with the football team, I think needs to be sort of echoed by the basketball team. Have patience, because as we talked about, when you're looking at a Dobbins Bennett, you're looking at a Science Hill, you're looking at some of these teams that Gate City's going to take on. It's going to be an uphill climb until they get to the district.
Well, you got to look big picture. It's going to help come February.
So, you know, nobody needs to jump on and say, oh, they lost to Science Hill by 10. I can't believe what's going on. No, you just be patient, because, again,
win over Science Hill is always a good thing, though.
that is a fabulous thing. And, of course, we always like to talk about the Hilltoppers.
My bias kind of shows through there, doesn't it?
It's okay. No problems. So, anyway, want to say again thank you to everybody. Great football season. So much support. And, again, we want to say thank you to all the listeners out there. Want to say thank you to our sponsors once again. And we've got more sponsors coming on board for basketball. It's going to be an exciting year. Win, lose, or draw. Great kids, great programs. Again, a lot of excitement, and we'll be all the way there, hopefully to Virginia Commonwealth University in March. So, for Mr. Carr, this is Joe Carter. We're going to sign off here. Again, get out of here. They're closed at 8 tonight here at the Campus Drive-In. Want to say thank you to Pat Elliott for always hosting us here at the campus. And the lights
turning the lights off.
Turning
on
the
us,
lights
Joe.
off on us. We'll be the last ones out the door. So, anyway, for Mr. Carr, this is Joe Carter. Again, you've been listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.